This presentation is brought to you by Arizona State University's Julian Wrigley Global Institute of Sustainability and a generous investment by Julian Wrigley.
The second of the issues that I mentioned was the notion of well-being and happiness. And the city of Somerville, close to Cambridge, Massachusetts, where I live, the state of Maryland, the city of Seattle, the UK government, the French government under President Sarkozy, are all looking at what would well-being and happiness look like in a policy and planning context. How do we look at well-being and happiness in terms of public policy? How do we measure well-being and happiness? And one thing that is happening in the UK then is looking at the role of local government in promoting health and well-being. How do we do that? And there's a coalition between the New Economics Foundation, the Local Government Commission, and various national mental health charities to try and look at this. How do we develop social well-being, human well-being and happiness? And how can they be made the goals of policy? Now, an 8-point manifesto has been developed, and most of these things are self-evident. Measure what matters. You know, move away from GDP. That's not well-being. That measures the amount of money sloshing around in the system. How do we measure what matters? Create a well-being economy, reclaim our time, create an education system that promotes flourishing, refocus health services to look at health, complete health. Does anybody know what the World Health Organization definition of health is? It is the complete social, mental and physical well-being of the individual, not merely the absence of infirmity or disease. What do our health services focus on? Infirmity and disease. Not complete. I mean, some are getting more progressive and looking at the whole individual, but most of our health service is still focusing on disease prevention and keeping us, healthy in that sense. I'm not going to go through all of these, but one thing I do want to make a point about is one of these, number 4, create an education system to promote flourishing. And I want to start by taking you back to 1982. I just started teaching geography at high school, and a young guy, 16-year-old, comes up to me and he says, "Sir, what do dumb kids like me do now we've finished our exams?" Sir, what do dumb kids like me do now we've finished our exams? So David was one kid in the north of England, but there are billions of Davids. There are kids and kids all around the world who've had that. Nobody said you're dumb, but somehow the school system gave him that hidden message that he's dumb. He wasn't dumb. In fact, we were the dumb ones because we hadn't found out what he was good at, but we were all too quick to tell him what he wasn't good at. So David had his start in life believing he was dumb. 30 years on, I was traveling in West Africa, and my cousin stops the car, and a young woman comes up to us, and she's selling peppers, hot peppers. And she said, "Would you like to buy some of my hot peppers? But don't think of me as a pepper seller. I'm a student. I'm just looking to improve myself and to get an education." And I suddenly realized then, here's something. All of what these kids wanted was to develop their capacity, their capabilities to do things, to achieve something. That's all they wanted. It's a privilege to be able to achieve your capability. I mean, those of you who've done it, I feel I have, it's a privilege to do that. I've got friends, greeny friends, who say, "Oh my God, if we cut down any more of the rainforest, we're going to lose a cure for cancer." Well, maybe in that girl in West Africa or in David there was a cure for cancer. Maybe we should be thinking in a just sustainability context about increasing human potential as well as increasing environmental potential. This is nothing new. Amartya Sen, the capabilities approach, this is what this is about. But as environmentalists and in the sustainability literature, we hear more about protecting environmental potential than nurturing human potential. So I want you to think about both of them. And here in the US, we have the greatest squandering. What we do is we send more young black men to prison than to college, and it costs more to send them to prison than it does to Princeton. That is perverse, and it's got to stop. We need to change the way we think about that.
This presentation is brought to you by Arizona State University's Julian Wrigley Global Institute of Sustainability for educational and non-commercial use only.